Okay, nurses staffing or consultancy. So basically, nurses staffing businesses, the way we want to do it is we want to source the staff nurses from India only. Okay, that's one. Or even Pakistan is fine. That's second. When hospitals need nurses, they don't hire nurses full time. They basically go to agencies and get the nurses from them. Main thing is if nurses need H1 visa, then this whole program is done, is gone. We cannot do this. If they can come here on some other visa from India, then it's workable. Okay, so these are the points. I know that nurses have to have a special course requirement in India and in Pak and in Bangladesh and in Sri Lanka and in Philippines to be able to come and work here directly. If they cannot come in and work here directly, that's not possible. You have to get that understanding. Now, very important thing is, what visa do they need? Can they get some visa? For that, I have 3 or 4 nurse friends. So you need to ask me every day to talk to my nurse friends and ask them what visa can I bring my sister-in-law here. So I have a sister-in-law, actually she's my niece, so you can call her niece. She's Vikas Agrawal's wife and she's in UK and she has all the credentials because she already went to UK, so she has all the credentials. Hopefully they are the same credentials as the ones needed in USA. So the plan is, you'll first tell me, I'll ask my 3 or 4 friends of mine as to whether my sister-in-law niece can come here. If she can come and then she tells me visa, then we do research on that. If it is possible to do it, then what we do is then we basically start working on this. If it is through H1, no, I don't want to work. If it is yes, then we start hospitals and tell them that we can source nurses from India. And then we can use Naukri.com to source some nurses, maybe 10 or 15 nurses, make X nursing, L2, X nursing, L3. Once there are people who are ready to come here, we basically, who meet the eligibility requirements, we know from hospitals. And then we can just talk to hospitals and, tell them that we can get the nurses from India and this is the visa we sponsor. Regarding the visa, Jennifer. And regarding regarding the hospitals, we need to cold call and talk to them and find out. For that also, I may try to go through some of my friends and see if they have some contact through who may need nurses. So this is the great grand plan. And if you can help me execute, there's a first thing is we need to find out whether this is even possible. So the first thing is you need to find out whether it requires H1 visa or not. So you can do it is, you can also do research. You can also do research on Facebook groups and all that, and on Google and on ChatGPT, and use all these things to make a complete article and try to understand. That's the first step, whether H1 is needed in your mind or not. And secondly, what are the eligibility requirements? I know that one of my friend's sister did it 10 years back. She had to go to Bangalore to do some course or something. So that my auntie's daughter can also be approached. Remember that. Just tell me that my auntie, my Batala auntie, BATLA, Batala auntie's daughter can be approached. We can ask her how she came here. She came here through as a nurse. Did she take H1 or something else? So we can find all these things and then determine what's the right course of action. So this is the program feasibility. If program is feasible, no H1 dependency. If the person can come within 2 months, we have a business here. Next thing, we can always do it in Canada also. If we do it in Canada, then how do we do it? That's the whole idea, right? So we need to think about that also. Okay, so for that we need to find out Canadian hospitals and see what visa requirements are there. Talk to Ben Crank. Okay, that's our attorney in there, and we need to talk to him, have a meeting with him, and he'll tell you whether he can do nurses visa or not. If he can, not through our company, because our company is IT consulting, so you have to open a separate company for that, a nurses company, nurses staffing company. He'll tell you all that. You need to know what insurances do we need, and that will help us design the packages. Our packages are going to be much easier part, so I'm not worried about it. I'm worried about feasibility of the whole program, either in USA or in Canada. Okay, so this is the entire work. In Canada, you need to find out more about it, and then see basically the visa required, because there we don't have to worry about work visa. Even if it's work visa, we'll be fine. So main thing is whether Ben Crank can do it. If he can do it, then we need to, in there, I think the bigger issue is whether we can find people, whether we can find the Canada hospitals who are ready to hire. So that's the main thing. So we need to cold call Canada hospitals and then ask them if they would be ready to sponsor visas, and if they will be ready to, if they're ready to hire nurses, and tell them that. So when can tell approximately how much time it will take for the visa to process and how much money it will take and all that stuff. And then you ask hospitals, hey, let's say when says it takes 3 months, you tell hospitals, hey, it'll take roughly 5 minutes for me to get the nurse. Would you be fine? And they may say yes, no, then we're in business. If they say yes, right? That's the whole idea. So we need to do the feasibility analysis, call around and find more and more information about it. I hope you understand the entire business. It's not so complicated. All right, thank you.